The Dark Realm is a difficult place to live. Plants grow weakly and twisted in the lack of sunlight. Mercenary work and banditry are rife, as it pays more than basic farming or hunting. The realm at large is ruled over from the great city of Guardia, an overpopulated, sinful place ruled over by a baleful king that we haven't seen in years. There is an elven kingdom to the south, ruled by the sequestered shadow elves, a dwarven kingdom lost to the mountains of the west, and a tiefling kingdom among the volcanic rock of the islands in the north. Great patches of our land are poisoned and deserted. There are tribal villages, beasts, goblins, and orc warbands, of course, but we're trapped here. The mists are a mystery. Most who enter them never return. Those that do are changed in such a way that they are unrecognizable or utterly insane. Nothing comes out of the mist, but it surrounds us, calls out, poisons, frightens. Couple that with the almost endless darkness, and the Dark Realm is a very difficult place to live.
So this was it, huh? This was your big fucking plan? To save the world, huh? Well, look around, Eldarin. This shit is still here. And you're not. And I've got no hope without you, you bastard. I'll give you a proper burial, though. Nice and deep. So I never have to see you again.
You as a party have arrived once again at the village of Kull. And as a group, you step through the ramshackle gate that doesn't really stop anything from coming through, and recognize the same rundown village that you left. There doesn't really appear to be much change whatsoever. You can see the tavern, Salam's, which has had several repairs to it. You can see the people moving around the marketplace, including the potion merchant that you had met. You would be experiencing right now Kull in daylight. It is 11 a.m. and I believe it has been 7 days since you first came to Kull, and since we last saw you, it has been a full day on the road, for the most part walking. Yesterday you had 5 hours of daylight, which was probably quite nice to be able to traverse the land with. And then this morning, about an hour ago, the sun was shining again, allowing Will to channel some of his skills to probably heal each of you, to reduce any headaches remaining since your last excursion into the mist. And you've all had the benefits of a long rest, so you've got your full complement of spells, full HP, and all of your abilities should be back, as well as your hit die you'll get half of them rounded up back, which I think probably puts you all at full. As you return to Cole, I would like everyone to roll me perception checks, please. Fix 17, the only person here to pass the perception check. Fix, as you come into town here, and maybe as you guys are moving past some of the people moving around, a few farmers heading out of town, you see a very tall-looking man, who you at first recognize to be the tavern owner that was brutally slain by the Grell, who was walking very oddly. He is moving around in amongst all of the people that are just inside the marketplace, a little south of the area where the tavern is. There's a decent amount of people moving around. Because of the daylight, it tends to kind of draw a lot more people outside. A lot more people are more willing to just sort of walk around during the daylight hours. So for Cole, for a small town, for once, people aren't hiding inside looking at you strangers coming in, and are in fact kind of milling around and talking. You see this tall fellow, and you almost immediately recognize him. The tavern owner was a man named Dennehy Gondi that he, I think he told you guys straight away, but you see him again moving around amongst people, talking to people and things. He takes a few strange steps, and you can see that he has that similar gait, kind of almost as if he's being puppeteered. His arms and legs slightly too long for his body. A very, very tall man, upwards of 6 foot, moving around people, leaning down and reaching out and shaking hands with one of the vendors as you guys start to approach. For whatever reason, 3 of you are just looking around at other things, or maybe concentrating on what your plan is for the day. When, Fix, you catch this person in the marketplace as you guys start to walk past.
Does he look disheveled, or does he just look normal?
He actually looks great. He actually looks more alive than the previous fellow that you met, and his clothing looks pretty nice, well stitched and new compared to most people in town here. And even yourselves, with kind of travel-worn clothing.
I hold an arm out and stop Will and just point towards him. Now, I might be mistaken, but I am quite sure I buried that man.
Yeah, it would appear you did. So either that's an imposter, or he crawled back up.
He didn't have a brother, did he?
Twin brother. That'd be kind of awfully convenient.
Well, whatever happened to him, he looks good. I want whatever he has.
He has death. Trust me, you don't want it. Brad, when we're watching this guy walking up and, like, shaking hands with vendors and whatnot, are the vendors and other people he's interacting with, like, are they treating this strangely, reacting to him at all?
Give me an insight check.
13 on insight.
Doesn't seem like it, no. Most people seem to be smiling at him and nodding to what he's saying. Speaking back. It seems like small talk.
It doesn't seem to be bothering the locals any. Don't suppose this has happened before?
Can I grab a local that's walking past?
You may.
I sort of reach out and tug someone's sleeve as they're walking past.
Yeah, there's a sort of farmer-looking fellow, long beard, disheveled, slight crook to his back from spending all day digging up carrots or finding mushrooms. And as you tug on his shirt, he looks to you, holding a sack in one hand. Hello.
Sorry, I don't suppose you'd be able to help us. Do you know the tavern owner?
Well, no, I did know him, yeah. Poor
Yeah,
fella,
do
a
you know-
monster got him.
Right. And he died? You've not seen him since?
Right, yeah. I'm afraid he's dead if you're looking for him.
I point out the man.
Oh, blimey. Right, that's right, I remember. That's his brother up from Oaker's Point.
His brother.
That's right.
Like, they're twins?
Don't know. Don't remember
don't know.
mentioning that. No, they had a brother, though. Dennehy, and that's, don't know. Can't remember.
What do you know of Dennehy?
Well, from what I remember, he came up here running away from something. And that something never followed him, and he settled down. And that's when him and his brother bought this here tavern. Took it over.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, that'd be 25 years.
And
You
there's been
said
no
he
trouble?
and
One at a time.
There's been no trouble
Or-
with him since?
Trouble?
I don't know. Was he an upstanding citizen? Ever get any problems with the law?
Not that I know of, no. He cooks that awful thing, though. Salami.
Yes. Well,
I kind of like the salami.
I do too.
You say he and his brother both bought the tavern here.
That's right. Them's from
Does this
money, I
other-
think. Well, they were.
Does this other brother come up here regularly, or did he just come up after his brother's passing?
To be honest, I've never seen him before, but I don't spend too much time at the tavern.
He probably caught wind of his brother's passing and came up to take over the business.
That's why I'd imagine. You can't leave it to Yori. She's only a kid.
Right.
Hmm.
I think that's everything.
Here, what are you doing here, then?
just passing through?
This
Passing
is the
through
only way
where?
back from. This is the only way back from Sum's Point to get anywhere.
That's what I was going to ask you. You been to Som's Point, have you?
We did.
I hear it was struck by an attack of some sort. What was it?
Marauders. People
Marauders.
getting too big for their own britches, turned away by the town guard.
Bloody hell. You reckon they'll come up here?
Not likely.
Rumor has it they put out to sea afterwards, so
Out to sea?
unlikely that they're going to reach you here.
Alright. Well. Here, you heard about that wyvern?
Come again?
Apparently there's a wyvern out there on the fields.
Oh,
How do you know?
Because all the farmers are saying there's a fucking wyvern about.
Right.
I wondered if you'd seen it. You've been coming over here from up Psalm's way.
was it out on the east side somewhere?
Well, I don't know. Where does they come from?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Describe a wyvern.
Big flying thing. Like a giant bat, I think. Right?
I didn't happen to have, lion's head, anything like that.
Well, I don't know. Not even sure what a lion's head looks like. Like a cat, right? A big one?
Yeah, big cat.
I ain't never seen it.
Which way was this wyvern supposedly?
He just kind of gestures all around. Been in all the farms. Here, Psalm's Point, all along the road. Wondered if you'd seen it, that's all.
Can't say we have.
Well, if you see it, you should kill it.
Is there a reward?
Well, not for me.
Has someone put a bounty on its head?
I don't know. I just wondered if you'd
All
seen
right.
it.
No, we met some other flying nasty things, but I wouldn't call them a wyvern.
What was that
At
then?
least they don't. Or at least they don't match the description.
What was it?
Time
Would
out.
we know?
Brad, would we know the names of these creatures before this
of
gets
you know.
any more awkward?
Some of you
I
knew what a
would.
griffin was. Yeah. Whoever, you
Yes.
guys passed
Nature checks.
nature checks.
Yes.
I think it was
Okay.
Fire and Merlin. So probably they would have told you on the road.
Alright. There was a griffin off to the east road, but I don't think that's the same thing as a wyvern.
What's a griffin?
It's like a flying cat eagle thing.
What's with the
I don't
flying
know.
cats?
Merlin, this is your expertise. You want to explain it?
No, you're explaining it perfectly. Go on ahead.
Okay,
you're a gnome.
flying big cat eagle thing.
I thought that was your son.
How do you know he's not?
Oh, let me at this one.
Yeah, it's a gnome. You're a gnome, right? You're probably way older than him. He's probably like a little toddler to you.
Perhaps, but let's not talk about age. That's a sensitive subject.
Well, gnomes live really long time, and you've got a right grey beard, so
Yeah, no, we do.
you're probably a wealth of knowledge. What was this place like then? Like
Oh, I
when
can't
you
say
were
I've been
actually
here
a boy.
before.
Oh, right.
But
Where are you from?
okay, let's not go into detail. Will, take care of this. I'm just gonna. And
You started
Merlin
talking to
hides
me.
behind fire.
What do you mean take care of this? What do you want me to do?
I
That
don't want
sounds-
to.
Listen. Clarify? Maybe clarify what you mean.
I wish not to exchange words with this man.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, I had a
Perhaps-
different image in my head.
Perhaps we should go to the tavern.
Yeah, you should go to the tavern, but don't get any salami. Nasty.
Why is that?
It tastes like shite. I hate it.
It's an
Man of
acquired
taste.
taste.
Oh, I don't know if it's even an acquired taste. How many times you got to eat dog shite before that becomes an acquired taste?
I appreciate your perspective. Thank you.
Right. All right, well, you have a good day. A good stay.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps we should speak to Yuri? I don't want to let him out of my sight, though. This is bizarre. I might wait here and watch over him if you want to go and talk to Yuri.
well, I mean, if it really is just his brother come up to take over the business, I don't think it's anything that nefarious. We could just walk up and talk to him.
But he looks
Yeah,
exactly
and I'm
the
sure
same.
that it's just his brother coming up, and there's no monster that's going to burst in, and everything's fine. People aren't rising from the dead, crawling out of graves, anything like that.
I'm keeping my eye on him.
Oh, I agree. We should keep our eye on him. I'm just thinking I could also just walk over there and say hi.
You can.
Okay, we'll do exactly that.
Walk over to the tall tavern owner's brother. Fellow.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, he's kind of standing around, I think probably at this point, just arms on his hips, looking around. He just seems to be taking in the atmosphere and the sights, the sunshine maybe, as you step over to him. He looks down at you a little. I think he's a little taller than you. And nods at you as you walk up.
Does he look identical to the other one, or now that I'm close enough to look him right in the eye, can I tell him apart? Or is it more like a twin?
Roll me an intelligence check. Just need a dice roll, and I guess intelligence is linked to memory in some way. 16.
16.
You get close enough, you can tell that this is a different looking person, though they have very, very similar looks and very similar body types. Although this guy's wearing slightly better clothing, you can see that his hair is a lot thicker. He does have like a similar looking mustache, but it falls down around his lips as opposed to the other one that kind of came out a little bit. He looks very, very similar, but as you get closer, there's just elements to his face that would suggest to you a brother and not a twin, or a family resemblance that's extremely strong, but not really the same at all. For sure, not like somebody that's been raised from the dead and magically kind of strung up. which is your
Gotcha.
fear,
And
I
and
think.
this.
Thanks for clarifying.
I think that's what your fear is, and Will was curious as to
Yeah.
whether they brought him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure he's not a zombie. But even when he was alive, you described him as having like this weird, janky movement where it looks like he's being puppeteered.
Yeah.
Is there any indication of that with this guy, especially up close? Can I see what's causing it or anything like that?
You can roll me a medicine check.
Oh boy, here we go again. A 12 on medicine.
Just all of his limbs are too long for his body. He's just very tall, and his legs are tall and thin, and his arms are very long. They come down further than they should. He's just got, and so did his brother, a very strange body shape where his legs are extremely long and his arms are extremely long, and his it just causes the way that he walks to appear odd to you.
Okay. Well, I have plenty of these to go around. So I'm gonna use a divine sense and see if I pick up anything odd from this guy. And I will preferably do it when he's not looking straight at me, so it's not so evident what I'm doing.
Yeah, okay.
Do you
Need
need
the wording.
me to...
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I think I have it. There it is.
Okay, you know the location of celestials, fiends, or undead within 60 feet of you. Ignoring Vita and Fix. No celestials, fiends, or undead, or any strange sensations. If anything, actually, you set this off and you get a sensation of comfort and warmth and safety, which you feel from just being in the sun.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say it's coming from this guy. I would have the opposite
sunshine
reaction,
itself.
I assure you.
The sunshine is
Okay.
actively revitalizing you right now.
Aw.
Can I do the Superman thing where you just
You're almost doing
like
that,
this in
yes.
front of the sun? Charge it up? Okay. At this point, I'll stop and address him and say, sorry for your loss.
He leans down and says, hello! Reaches out a hand towards you. His arm stretching out in front of you is, again, a strange, odd experience, how long his arm is, bending to reach down to you. He says, my brother was good man.
I'm sure he was.
You know him?
I was there the day that thing got him.
What was it?
Weird thing from the mist. Never seen anything like it before or since.
Okay, but what was it really?
It was a weird monster thing from the mist, like a floating mass of flesh with weird tendrils hanging off the bottom of it.
Okay, thank you so much for your time and your kind words. If you would like, I am setting up to fix tavern, and then I
Does
go
he
home.
think I'm lying?
Give me an inside check.
Yeah, he thinks I'm lying. 13.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I'm serious. You can ask anyone here. There were several witnesses to what the thing was.
Yes, they tell me it was flying with long legs and
No,
the
that's
head of
about
a crow.
accurate.
Yeah.
No head, no crow's head.
I mean, it did have the beak.
Yeah.
It did have a bit of a beak. I could see them mistaking it for a bird. Yeah, I got a pretty close look at it since I was the one stabbing it with a sword from 5 feet away. I had a pretty clear view.
Oh, you are part of the guard.
No, I was just in the tavern and I don't like dying.
I see, yes, yeah. There was much damage.
Yeah, it was... Well, I think the bulk of the damage was from the time it came back after that.
Yes, I hear it came back again.
Correct.
He is the same one?
Well, unless there's a way for the dead to be raised. Hard to say.
There is
I
way
don't
for
know.
dead to be raised. You would not spend much time in North.
I'm sorry.
Many dead come back all the time.
In the north?
I
Just-
hate to
just
be
here?
bearer of bad news, but there is a mist very close if you go this way.
I've seen
Dangerous
it.
town. I don't like it. But I am here for a while. Help Yori and I will find somebody to run this tavern. I bring money to fix it and buy stock. Make sure it stay open. And then I go back.
Where are you from?
Originally, I am not from anywhere near here. I come from Oaker's Point. I have my own businesses. Where are you from? You look like you might be from overseas.
Yes. Long way from here.
Yes, your
What
people
brought-
are good people. I do lots of business with men and women from Ifrit.
Yes. I do live not too far away from Ifrit.
Hmm.
What brought you to Cole? What brought your brother to Cole?
He was a troubled young man. Get into trouble with unsavory types. He ran away. Nobody follow him here to this place. Yeah. You live here in town? Yeah, I did not think so. Nobody come to this place. This place is terrible. You come here to die. I feel if you come here to die. There is no culture. You come here, you just live to pull carrot from ground, eat. Next day, same thing.
That's true, but people don't live without stuff to eat. Someone's got to grow it somewhere.
That is what the people of this town do. They send it down to Oaker's Point, and I eat safely away from creatures crawling out of mist with crow head to bite my neck.
Well, I'm happy you're able to do so. Some of these people aren't so lucky.
Well, they just need to get wagon, you know? They find work elsewhere. You know there are fields south of here as well.
What do you know of the mist? You're so afraid of it.
What do I know of the mist? I know you don't go near the fucking thing, it's right there. And nobody should be building town here. On the edge of it.
Can't
He's
argue with
not
that.
wrong.
Fair.
Yeah, you can hide here though. You in trouble? You come here, you hide. The fucking guards, they pay off. People coming to find you. Keep the trouble. They give them dinner.
Are there a lot of people like that here? That you know of?
I don't know who these people are, what they are doing, but probably sons, you know, of criminals. Generations.
Probably.
Right. Well, we should be going. Like
Yes,
you
you
said.
can stay here. You're traveling, no? We have okay rooms for you.
Is it not like 11 a.m., Brad? Is that the
It
time you said roughly?
is about 11ish, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll keep that in mind.
Yes.
Nice meeting you.
There
Luck
is
with
food
the
now.
tavern thing.
Fresh food. You go inside, there is a young lady Yori. Very nice. Not much in side over her head going on.
That's world.
Thank you for your time.
She'll get you some dinner and drinks. Go get beer. Relax your feet and get away from this place.
And say that again. Safe travels.
Yes, you too. Ah, yes. Hello. Good to meet.
As we're walking, as soon as we're out of earshot, do we really want to stay here? It's not even noon yet. We could just hit the road directly. Unless you want to stop and check in with some of the people who were here before, like Yuri, but frankly, I don't really know many people here.
I'm not sure there's anything to gain, really, hanging around. We're well provisioned. We have as much information as we're going to get from these people.
I agree. Let's, I suppose, stock up on rations and then just head north immediately, although it couldn't hurt to poke around town and see if there's been any more developments since last time we were here. This does... I get the impression this place is kind of, a crossroads, if you will. That big that big road heading north, the Grell coming into town twice, Arias and the others passing through here on their way to Sump's Point. It just feels like this place has been the center of activity, and now there's a Wyvern. I'm just wondering if there's something about this location specifically that draws people in. Or maybe there's something huge in the mist just to the north of here, and that's why. Proximity.
Perhaps we should ask about this Wyvern before we set off. It would not be a
Agreed.
pleasant surprise in the
I'm
mist.
kind of curious. Maybe there's a bounty on it. Might be
Agreed.
worth a lot of money.
Well, so long as everyone promises not to get jumped and murdered for any, random reasons, we could just split up and spend 10 minutes asking around town for information. Might be faster that way.
Or lose any fingers.
I'll stick with Merlin.
Or that.
Okay.
Works for me.
And so you split up and ask around town for information. Everybody roll me investigation checks, and specifically, were you buying any things? If you do want to buy any things, you can quick buy like you were able to do previously.
Everyone's still got that healing potion.
Yes, you can mark off 2 rations from your sheets because you have had 2 days of travel. And
Okay.
Specifically, what information are you after? And I will adjust
So,
accordingly.
can I, instead of rolling my own investigation check, can I just use the help? Can I just take the help action and assist Fix with investigating instead?
No.
No? Okay. A 17.
A 17. And what are you asking around about? The Wyvern?
The Wyvern and any events that have occurred since last time we passed through, or any other strange creatures or sightings in the area.
Okay. So I am just simply combining a general set of investigation checks to see in general what kind of information you're able to determine. And overall, almost nothing has really happened in the town since you guys left. It would have been 3 days ago. No, it wouldn't. It would be 5 days ago. And yeah, no crazy activity, no strange things, no additional madness, no creatures attacking anyone or coming out of the mist, or and no bandits hitting the town, no like undead or anything like that. Pushing people just to see that they aren't covering something up, because you get the sense, I think, in Cold that sometimes they're paid off to keep it quiet and stum. Really doesn't seem like anything crazy has been going on. For the most part, people are more interested in what happened at Sump's Point and probably counter-question you on that. And in terms of the Wyvern, it is at the moment a creature that just seems to have been hitting the farms, not just here, but all along the north, all along the mist between Jairus and Sump's Point, including Cull. It seems to be hitting the farms and attempting to eat and steal sheep and goats and any livestock that the farmers have, any of the farmers that are not,
Gnomes?
not
What about
gnomes.
gnomes?
It would probably love to eat some gnomes, but gnomes are extremely rare.
Sorry, I just had to double check.
It just tends to be a thing that is happening and has been happening with increased frequency over the last year.
Okay, were any of these people an eyewitness that could describe it?
The Wyvern, yes, it is a rust colored thing that looks like a flying lizard.
Nice. And when was the last
Okay.
time it was seen?
8 days ago,
Oh.
between Songs Point and Cole.
The eyewitness that we spoke to, I guess it's kind of a weird question to ask them if it appears to be undead or a monster, like a grotesque, twisted version of something from the mist.
Let's see if they can tell. They can tell, or at least they, to them, they can tell it was surely a living thing. It was seen, for the most part, this is something's outside, go running outside, it's made off with a sheep and is flying away situation. It's not like they get like a full, like they're standing in front of you in the middle of the daylight. But for the most part, just appears to be a living creature, a giant living lizard thing that is flying around and stealing livestock.
I was just wondering if it was like a typical wyvern that people are identifying as such, or if it's more like some sort of, twisted aberration from the mist that's similar enough to a wyvern that people are mistaking it, And Will voices similar thoughts to Fix immediately.
That's a good question. How many wyverns do you think they've seen?
I mean, I've never seen one, and I'm pretty well traveled.
Nor have I.
I didn't actually think they were real, to be honest.
Would I know
People just
anything of wyverns?
You can give me a nature check.
16.
They're not like legendary or mythological necessarily, but they are extremely rare. They're even more rare than an actual dragon, which has kind of become somewhat mythological. It's so it's one of those areas that is hard to know without actively going to find a scholar or an expert in this particular subject, and I'm assuming you've never needed to, otherwise you would probably be like, I'm a wyvern expert, and would have mentioned it. So we'll say that generally speaking, it's not necessarily the type of thing that you might immediately jump to. They don't exist and we didn't, but it's not something you will have just seen casually ever. Dragons, not sure. Generally speaking, in this world, no one's seen and dealt with a dragon directly, but there are lots of tales and stuff told about them. Yeah, wyverns, unbelievably rare. No one's really had to deal with them for a long time, which is probably why it's kind of a big deal here.
And did we get an idea of how long this has been going on for?
About a year. It's been hitting the it's become bold enough to be hitting the farms outside of the towns along the north here to steal livestock.
Well, if it's only stealing livestock, that's probably a good sign for us.
Agreed. Well, that, and if they've been dealing with it for a year, it's probably not related to our current problems.
No.
I'm thinking it's best to just ignore it, although I do hope it doesn't show up and trouble us on the road. Also, since none of these people seem to be able to pinpoint a direction, I'm assuming that just means it's flying fast enough to be in every direction. Hit a town to the west one day and to the east the next.
It doesn't sound localized. And could it really be much worse than anything that's already inside there?
Who knows?
Well, we should carry on
Well,
regardless then.
Agreed. Let's go find the other two.
Hopefully they have enough livestock.
I'd rather fight a big dumb lizard than intelligent adversaries any day. But let's just hope it doesn't come to that.
Nobody said it wasn't intelligent.
Now that's a scary thought.
It's evaded capture so far.
It's evaded capture on account of being a giant winged lizard. But it could also be calculated in its movements too. So you got a good point. Well, we can get moving. Oh, we should check with that alchemist one more time and see if there's any Actually, Brad, we already fast forwarded through the shopping sequence. Is there more healing potions available? Did they make any in the week that we've been gone?
Roll me a
three
d20.
days? Okay.
Because I like to play the fate system sometimes.
8.
Did not make any.
Bummer. Okay.
He's not as quick
Well,
at gathering the ingredients as Merlin is on the road.
I believe you've all got 2. Or 1, at least.
I think I'm down to just 1, but we just... Oh, wait, sorry, health potions. Yes, I have 2.
Should have, yeah.
You should have enough for now.
We should have 8 remaining, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
I've got 4.
Yeah.
I kept the extra.
Fix taking no chances. Fix will be leaving the mist.
One way or another.
Keeping all the health
Keeping
potions.
all the
doing
health potions.
Doing it the smart way.
Fix's health potions are suspiciously not, for some reason, just a jar of water like yours are. So, the plan is to potentially head out immediately then. So we can say that you've maybe spent... it's probably only been about an hour in town, maybe, something like that. So it's about midday as you start to... You regather after traveling, discuss what you've found out, repurchased any rations and things that you wanted to get, and regroup. Is the plan to retrace your steps through the farms back towards the north of town to see if you can find the area where you exited the mist before with the road?
Yeah, sounds sensible.
Then
I'd also like to double check on the grave, just out of paranoia, as we go past.
yeah, you can check the grave. There's no sign of the grave digger, but you find the grave in the same state as you left it a week ago. No signs of disturbance. It looks the same.
Okay.
And let's see. So roll me a... In fact, just let's have Merlin do it. Roll me a d20.
Oh no.
15. So you retrace your steps through the outside the north of town. There is a patchy basic wooden wall, a palisade thing that has fallen to disrepair over several years. There are holes and breaks in the wall at all edges of the town once you walk out far enough. There is a place that you're able to exit behind this graveyard and head out into the fields. You head out into the carrot fields, and there are just huge, great big rows, straight lines of produce that you're able to follow very easily and quickly to the edge of a field and a plains that once you get closer and closer to, you're able to very easily identify the mist and the fog. Not as much, it's not like you walk up to a huge wall of fog. It really is that same experience as when you are just kind of out walking or driving or something, and then suddenly there's kind of, you're in an area where there's fog and it creeps up on you a little bit. But in the distance, there is nothing but a great slow rolling fog that begins to creep outwards towards where you are. Is the plan to just go, walk over there, head into the fog itself?
I can't really think of any other smarter way to approach it, to be honest.
Very well. Once more into the mist. Again, you simply walk north. You find the quote-unquote road that is little more than pieces of broken mason stone that you had inspected before and understood to be a a very well-made road, better than anything that you've seen generally outside of the capital. There are places and patches across the realm where there are very well-maintained roads that are similar to this, but for this to be here was odd for you, and you spent some time looking into it. Specifically, Will, with a little bit of masonry knowledge. You find this road. It is, again, extremely overgrown. It's ancient, and it is broken by nature. However, it acts as a generally straight line directly north into the mist for you to follow. As you step back into that mist, there is an immediate odd feeling. The impulse to turn and run, probably immediately the first feeling as you step into this fog, and slowly but surely with every step, the fields and farms behind you are lost. The sense of sunshine and warmth dissipating quite quickly, and the further you walk in, the stranger that feeling becomes as it evolves and intensifies. There's a horrible, endless whispering that begins. You hear it both with your ears and you hear it rattling inside of your mind. And after about 30 minutes of walking north in this fog, it becomes a very dense and thick mist. The sunlight gone, replaced with darkness again. The foliage around you beginning to twist and change with every new step. There are trees here, but they're thinner and taller and darker. The arms twist and curl. They branch in ways that are unnatural. There are leaves on them, but they're undernourished. The bushes, all of them, covered in thorns. The grass is black and purple like a bruise on the land. And there's an eerie silence in this forest that is hard to miss. I'm going to need everybody to roll me wisdom saving throws, please.
And so it begins.
And so it begins.
23.
Only one of you has failed your wisdom saving throw. Fire. Roll me a d10. Eight. Remove 8 from your pool of sanity points. You still feel the same. You feel completely functioning and okay, but that headache is back. Maybe you only just got rid of it. It just picks up almost immediately. As soon as you start walking into this fog, there is a thrumming in the temples of your head, and with every step, this headache just starts to get heavier and heavier and heavier, and you basically now have essentially just a terrible headache. Little more than that, but I think if we were to kind of jump between your brain and one of the other three's brains right now, the whispers, the intensity of that feeling that this is unnatural and that you might want to run from this place would be a little more intense with you. But for now, you are essentially just sitting on a bad headache. To confirm, your sanity is at 82, yes? Everyone's sanity is back to 100 at the beginning of this?
Should have been, yeah.
Mine's at 92, right?
92, sorry, yeah, I don't know why I said 82.
Yeah,
I can't do
I was
that.
like,
I was gonna say, that's a huge hit.
That'd be really bad. That'd be
Yeah.
really,
You had
really
me
bad.
worried that there's no way I can keep up with mitigating that.
yeah.
No. So everyone was back at 100, yes. Okay. The next thing I will need you to do, as you are beginning to follow the road, yes?
Before we get too far, I just want to clarify. And sorry, I was distracted for a moment because I got an important message. Did you ever ask us exactly what we bought in town? Because I just wanted to
Did you buy
speak up
something
now.
else?
I bought 1 bag of ball bearings and 5 rations. I'm not sure if that was ever called for. But I wanted to clarify.
Last week.
No. In call just now during our speed
You bought
shopping
more.
moment. Yes.
Okay, yeah, just tick off the money. Auto,
I did.
Yeah.
No, I did. I added the item and I took the money off. I just want to specify that I want to drop a ball bearing on the side of the road since they come in bags of 1,000, and I'm gonna try and leave a trail of them behind us as we go.
Okay.
Like every 30 feet or so, I suppose.
Yep.
See how long a bag of 1,000 lasts.
Yeah.
I see you doing it, and I tell you to leave them on the left side specifically, so we can see which side of the road we're on.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Sorry, I wanted to mention that before we go any further in case it's relevant.
Yeah. Roll me a survival check each.
If we go in another circle and I find my own ball bearings laying on the road. Oh.
Oh my god.
How? What are the
Wow.
odds? I need someone to calculate the odds on that. That's got to be like 1 in 1,000 ever rolls that bad.
So that is 3 natural 1s and a 7 from Will. Yes, you're leaving a ball bearing behind. There are patches of this. This road is not a perfect road. It disappears for good stretches of land, and you have to kind of hope you're heading north. There's not a huge amount to help you do that. It is very dark. You are able to see a decent way in the dark with each of your sets of dark vision, but a completely unfamiliar landscape with almost no landmarks makes it relatively difficult for you to continue moving north. After another hour or so of heading into this mist and following this road, you lose the road for a while, hoping that it will simply return as it has done before while you've continued striding north. The road does not return after another hour. Whether the road stopped or whether you wandered off of it and just kind of went a little askew and diverged from where the road continued going north, I don't think any of you know. But there doesn't seem to be road anymore. What do you do?
So Arias would go through the mist himself. I am going to inspect the staff that he gave in case that it might be able to help us through the mist.
Give me
Can I
an
investigate it?
Arcana check. Yeah.
21.
21, pretty good. You understand this staff pretty well now. You've had a few days with it. You've been looking at it and understanding it. You've even used it, and after using the innate ability that it has to fire off a ray of necrotic energy, you understand that this thing is really little more than an arcane focus. It is something that a wizard can use to concentrate their spells through, but it doesn't have any properties that allow it to help to navigate you through the mist. It really is simply a wizard's staff. Certainly some ingredients that were used to imbue this thing with some sort of necrotic or evil energy were probably not good. We'll say not good. You don't know what it was, but certainly something
Right.
terrible had to be done for this thing to be able to focus such dark energies through it. But there's nothing really about the staff that is resonating with you in such a way that you would find yourself able to use it in a way that would navigate you through the mist directly. Not including any spells, you know, of course, but the staff itself
Gotcha.
is not a product of the mist.
Would I be able to sense that the boglin is around? 'Cause,
Are you actively looking for the boggle?
Well, I think, being in the mist, Merlin is, he's remembering he hurled up something that blinked at him, and it's all coming back. He was hoping it was something he could forget about, but no, it's
Give me
it's on his
a
mind.
perception check.
13.
You do not see nor hear the boggle.
Oh, it's a boggle, sorry.
This oily thing that was born of your sadness and frustrations at the time. But you do know that it is looking for you. You certainly get that sense. When your mind wanders to thinking of it, you simply get that sense. If you were to speak to Fix, it would probably feel a little similar to the way that Fix is able to understand certain thoughts and feelings that Vita is experiencing. It's not quite like having a conversation, but it is a strange understanding on a different level. And you know that the boggle is looking for you, but whether it's following you, whether it's nearby, you're not sure. It really doesn't seem like it. Using your eyes and ears right now, that there is a boggle nearby following you. But you do know that it searches for you.
Great.
As we're walking, I'm gonna spend some time. I've been kind of building it up. An hour in the mist. I'm gonna spend some time kind of like sort of feeling around the edge of like the insides where I know that this demon is, and kind of like testing the waters a little bit.
Are you sure?
No.
It's too late. The first thing that you will have noticed upon entering the mist truly 1 or 2 hours ago is that Vita becomes petrified, just terrified constantly. There's a sense of complete fear, an animalistic need to turn. You may have experienced the same thing on a horse or something when they just won't go one way. And Vita has that, but with your ability to understand Vita a little more, there is just a sense of pure fear. Just you shouldn't be here, that this place is terrible. Vita doesn't know why, but that is the sensation that you get. And I would like you to roll me... I guess you just roll me a d20. And I will figure out the rest.
14.
A 14. Nothing crazy happens to you. Nothing terrifying, no horrible feedback. But what you seek does not seek you. But it is in the mist. It is a thing that if you wished to seek out and wished to follow these thoughts and feelings further, you would understand exactly where it is and be able to simply find your way to it. You could just start walking and you would be led to it. However, you have, let's say that as soon as you start to feel this thing out, there is a great trepidation, that sort of unnatural sense of turn and run feeling that you have in this mist would certainly intensify for you in that moment. Merlin and Fix, roll me Arcana checks. Is that them? 18 and 21?
Yep.
Fix, you understand that you're tapping into something that you don't understand. You're tapping into either an ability or a weave or a source of magic that is not coming from you, that is not coming from the demon, that is not coming from Vita. You're simply able to reach out, ask the question, and have the question answered while you're here in the mist. Merlin, you also understand that you're tapping into these same things, that there is an ability for you to simply reach out, ask a question, and have that answer responded to. We'll say by the mist, but you're not sure whether that would be correct. You're also aware that it is a school of magic that you've no understanding of. You understand the schools of magic, aberrations and monstrosities, these creatures that exist here belong to that school of magic. This new ability, seeking out this boggle creature, came from none of your abilities, came from none of your innate magics. It comes from a whole new school of magic that is present within the mist.
And it applies only to the one thing.
Rephrase that for me a second.
Would it apply to any other knowledge within the mist, or just seeking the thing attached to us?
You have no way of knowing definitively that.
Okay.
I'm scared to take the chance.
Have you told anyone about it?
I think Merlin would kind of just look at Fix with a look in his eye that there's something up, in hopes that maybe there's something going on that she might have a hunch about, if she's feeling the same thing.
I gaze at you for a while and sort of like nod. Do you feel it?
Yeah, but my question is, do we ask?
What do you feel it about?
I mean, the mist is nothing but tricks, and it's only deceived us, like when I picked the mushrooms and I ate them. I don't think any good comes from here.
Is this conversation happening in front of Fire and I, or no?
Yeah, it would be open.
Okay. I'm sorry, ask who what?
Yeah, what? Take a few steps back. What's happening?
Sorry, no, we don't mean to keep you in the dark. It's almost like we have a weird, I wouldn't say connection, with the mist.
I know. Arias said that perhaps if I were to work with the demon, it would be of use in these mists. So I
And you
am trying to find the limits.
And you believe you could just ask it a question?
No, I'm not stupid, Will.
Is
You
that
literally
something
just
you
said,
want to
do we
do?
ask it? Gesturing to Merlin, you literally just said, do we ask it? So I'm asked, what do you mean? Do we ask, ask what? You can ask it a question?
Yes.
You two are telling very different stories.
Well, I think it's...
I don't think they understand.
It's different for us. Similar. But
While
it's-
we're on the
it's hard
topic
to
of
explain.
While we're on the topic of connections in the mist, the child in Sum's Point. When I severed the connection that child had to whatever's out here, I could see it ever so briefly.
The thing? What was it? Where was it? What did it look like?
It was like looking through a hazy mirror. Difficult to tell you what it looks like or how, what its physical appearance might be. It was more... I could sense it. Not necessarily with my eyes. But I'll warn you this. It was malevolent. Whatever kind of connection or ability to question this thing you have, be careful.
How can we be sure that it's the same entity?
I don't know. I'm not claiming that it is. I'm saying that if they are feeling a connection to something out in the mist, and I felt a connection to something out in the mist, stands to reason we might all be feeling the same thing. But for me, it was just a passing moment. Only when I was trying to free that child from its grip back in town. I haven't felt it since.
Then you know what we're feeling.
Sort of. I never really got the impression that I could ask it anything.
It's more of an innate understanding. I know. If I wanted to, I could find it.
Do we want to? We're here to investigate a gravesite, are we not?
Yeah, that's the question. This is far beyond my knowledge of magic. This is something completely unknown to me. We would have to take a risk if we were to.
If you end up wrapped up in your own head, fighting a battle against demons mentally in some way, I can't really guarantee that I can be of any use. So just be careful what you do there.
I won't attempt to contact it without telling you first.
I appreciate that, but I'm more worried about you. I'm saying is I don't know that I can help in any way if you get in trouble doing that. Even if I am standing right next to you. Just don't overreach, I suppose.
Okay. Thank you. Suppose we continue on then? Do we even know where we're going?
That's what I'm trying to determine. I'm assuming, Brad, that we can't see the sun anymore through the mist.
Nope.
Use it for us.
It might as well be the dead of night right now.
The reason that we can't see it, is that simply because it became late in the day and it went down, or was this more of a we went into the mist and it's so thick that it's blocking it?
The second option.
Okay.
It is probably still afternoon and very likely daylight exists.
With neither daylight nor starlight, it's really hard to navigate up here. I don't know that we're still heading north.
Merlin, what are you connected to? If the thing that I'm connected to is most likely extremely malevolent, Is yours the same risk?
I have no doubt. I just don't know to what extent. But we are running out of options here. Getting lost here would... Well... I don't even want to think about that.
Will's been leaving a trail, right?
We could backtrack out following the trail, although I don't know that it, Yeah, I mean, we could leave, potentially. It's just... It's very easy to lose your focus on sense of direction as you're... Like, I can't look back and see them all in a straight line, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's veering left or right. I would imagine that we're still continuing in a generally northward direction, but...
But if we don't know, we could just be wandering. It's not exactly something that we should be doing.
I don't think there's any way to wayfind here. What choice do we have? We can leave, but we just have to come straight back in anyway.
Agreed.
Right,
we have
I'm
to find a way
hesitant.
forward.
Is it even worth to mention we can contact Arias with the staff?
He sent us up here because he couldn't find the thing either or get to it. I don't know that he'd have an answer.
You might be right.
Could try. I mean, it couldn't hurt to ask, but I suspect that if he were able to get up there on his own and find it, he wouldn't have had any need for us.
But perhaps he has some navigation magic or something. He couldn't come because of his... I don't know, the way the mist affects him. But maybe he had a better sense of direction than us.
I mean, by all means then. If you want to ask him, go for it.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to rub the staff like a magic lamp? Like what, how?
I think you have to say like a spell. It has to rhyme, I think.
I don't think he even gave us instructions.
Yeah, you just
Does
make
this
it
thing
up.
have like a signal? Like,
Yeah,
Pretty
hold
sure
it
this.
as
Pretty
high
sure
as you
this
can.
spinning in a circle 3 times and clicking your heels together are involved at least.
Yeah, and you have to say this whole thing that rhymes with his name. I don't, I'm just throwing out some ideas.
Perhaps just use your will. Just imagine talking to him.
It's not as fun.
you think I should
Never
just start
has-
talking to the staff?
No, just, when I want to do things, I just imagine it happening and it happens. So perhaps you should try the same.
Okay. Well, with that, Merlin pulls the staff from his back and holding it with both his hands, firmly gripping it, he closes his eyes and thinks of Arias in hopes to contact him.
Roll me an Arcana check.
27.
27. As you concentrate on this staff and attempt to contact Arias, you understand how the ability works. It is something that you might have heard of before. There is a spell known as Message, which allows you to whisper a short message, usually only a few words, like a sentence worth of words, to somebody telepathically. This staff allows you to cast a message across any distance, so long as it's to the staff's owner, which in this case is Arias. What would you like to send as a message?
Oh no. I don't
Right?
think
Hey girl, where you at?
Hey girl,
Kinda
where
like a
you
text.
at?
Yeah.
That's right.
What are you texting?
There's a word.
What
Is
are you
there a word limit? Right?
Arias, what are you doing? Oh god. Sorry, I accidentally read chat. I do not want to ask Arias what he's wearing. Okay.
Do not read
Sure.
chat right now.
Okay. I kind of open up an eye at everyone and I kind of clear my throat. And I start to speak. I think I got it. I just, what do we ask Arias?
I don't know. I didn't think about it before now.
Just be blunt. Ask directly. How do we find our way? How do we find our directions in the mist?
Arias, how do we find our way through the mist?
What is your... In fact, don't worry. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna roll a dice. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Nine is a fail. Roll me a d4. Three. You will take 3 psychic damage. Think of it like microphone feedback is how it feels to you.
Oh no.
As you send this message, you feel the spell activate, but a horrible feeling pierces your mind as this happens. It is an effect of the spell you are casting. Roll me an Arcana check.
Oh, 8.
But you don't have any idea what it is, why it hurts so much. You might have a bit of a nosebleed happening right now, just a little drip of blood. And your eyes are probably looking pretty bloodshot as you send this message, but you're very aware that it worked, and that the message was indeed sent. A few seconds pass as you reel from the from sending this message, when you hear the response, and it is extremely clear. There is no oddness to it. There is no pain that comes with it. It is as if Arias is stood right next to you speaking. And Arias says, "Bold of you to use that staff in this capacity. Simply ask the mist, and the mist will provide the answers, but think through the whispers." And that is the end of his message to you.
I think I then relay to everyone once Merlin can kind of pick himself up from the pain he's just dealt with. He got back to me. I heard him. We have to ask the mist.
How do we know it would even give us the truth?
We don't know. We have to try. Believe me, I
Do
don't
we?
like where this is going either, but We're running out of options. And eventually we'll run out of water, food. We'll lose our minds in here if we stay too long.
Who wants to ask?
I can do it.
I look at Merlin. Obviously not looking too good right now.
I'm already
Maybe-
there. I can do it.
And I don't know if the other two of us can. I don't feel the same connection that the two of you seem to.
I can try, but I don't feel connected.
Okay, I will try. Will? I don't know how this
Yeah.
works. And I don't know if I can trust myself. So please be ready, just in case.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
And then I kind of go to the same place inside myself again and try and ask for a sense of direction.
Okay. The first thing I would like you to do is roll me a... Roll me a d20. I'll do it for you.
2.
A 2. Very well. For you, what are you trying to connect to?
This vague sense of connection in the mists that I felt.
Okay. The connection you find is a strong one. There is roll me a dexterity saving throw.
3.
You fall over to your left as there is a great shift in weight in your body. You no longer have a left arm, and you immediately fall to the side. Will is right there if you want to catch her.
Absolutely, I will go for it.
You can do it. As you fall suddenly, Will, you grab Fix. Fix's eyes have rolled up into their head. And Fix, you need to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
7.
A 7. Roll me a d10.
10.
Reduce your sanity by 10. And what question do you have?
I want a sense of where we are within the mists, and what direction we're heading in.
Would you like to ask kindly? Would you like to ask confidently? Do you ask with a sense of intimidation? If you were asking this question, which for the record you are not doing with a mouth or a voice or anything at the moment, you are not anything. Your physical body, presence, all of that gone. But if you were to push a tone, perhaps,
It would
how
try to
would you
be confident, but probably a hint of fear seeping through.
All right, roll me another wisdom save.
6.
Not very confident. The creature you are asking is not a creature that you should be asking anything. All of a sudden, you become overwhelmed with a sense of dread. The type of dread that releases an almost animalistic fear in you. The type of thing that you may not have necessarily experienced before, but in this moment you realize you've made an unbelievable mistake in trying to contact anything in here, in even being in here, daring to approach any of the, we'll say, larger beings present. You have put yourself in a place of extreme risk and danger. But your question is answered. You are on track. You see the path. The path north leads past an enormous mountain, on top of which is an enormous skull. A gigantic human skull poking out of an enormous natural formed mountain. Towards the bottom of the mountain, you see a graveyard, a huge thing. You see a town surrounding the graveyard. You see people bustling, moving back and forth in robes, in wraps, almost like togas. You see people running and playing, and you see people eating. You see people farming. From where you understand this to be, you also now have a direct connection to the demon that you've been connected to forever. You know where they are. You know how to approach them if you want to, and you know that they are about 3 days east of where you are. You know that if you go to them, you and the others will almost certainly be consumed by them, but not for nourishment. And you know now that this creature knows that you're here and is aware of you. And you also know that it has never been aware of you before. Now, you are unconscious. What is happening to you is almost like a download of information. You are connected to the question that you asked, the being that you asked it to. You're connected to something else. You're connected to something else. And it travels through the mist like a cloud of information. It's just all connected. Anything in the mist is able to understand anything else in the mist to a degree. You're not a physical being. You're just a consciousness in amongst this other consciousness and consciousnesses. For the others, I'm going to need perception checks. Will, you're currently holding an unconscious Fix who is not asleep, but not awake, I guess. Perceptions. Let's see.
17.
Those of you that are witnessing this at first see Fix fall over immediately after asking this question, but a moment later Merlin, for some reason, you are maybe entirely focused on Fix. Two of you realize that the trees around you that are curling and twisting, with their branches curved at unnatural angles, move. When, Will, you look to one side to try and catch the movement of a branch, you see that it didn't move. It was its shadow. The shadow of this tree is moving independently of the tree itself. Whenever you move your head left, you see the shadow stop still. Fire, you start to do the same thing. You realize that the area around you has slowly been coming to life and moving closer and closer to you. The shadows of these twisted, curled branches have been moving, and every time you look at them, or every time you catch it in the corner of your eye, they stop. You think it's maybe just a strange refraction of the mist itself, but it is in fact being caused by these shadows. Almost imperceptible in the darkness to even see these shadows, but there they are. Again, you look at them and they stop. But they're moving closer to you.
If I watch these things with just my eyes instead of turning my head, does the behavior stay the same?
Yes. Eye movement doesn't do as much because it's almost as if they're moving while you're not looking at them. So even when they're in your periphery, they seem to be stopping. But now that you've become aware of them, it's much easier to spot, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm just gonna glance at the other two without saying anything and see if either of them are aware.
Merlin's not aware at all. He's got his eyes fixed on Fix.
I'm very aware. I'm probably frozen, just eyes wide, maybe tears.
Also, is Fix missing an arm? Or was that just like in the vision?
Her vision. She's got an arm.
Okay. I was about to say I should grab that off the ground and bring it with us.
Thank God.
Merlin. We have company. Open your eyes.
Merlin then begins to look around. I don't.
I'll
see.
nudge my head in the correct direction so Merlin can easily spot it.
Yeah, Merlin, it takes you a moment to realize that I think you spot it as well, that the shadows of the trees around you are moving independently, and they stop when you look at them, but every time you look away, one begins to slowly move across the foliage and the forest floor towards you. Several of them. There are plenty of trees around you in this, let's say you're in a grove, and their shadows are moving around you.
So I was about to say, gently lay Fix on the ground, but seeing shadows coming in, I think I'm just gonna stop and kind of hold on to her and start standing back up.
I
We
will
might have a problem.
stand next to you so we can cover as much space as we can.
This is very poor timing. Fix. Is there any response or movement or breathing or anything from Fix?
Fix is completely alive. Eyes rolled up in their head, practically feel as if they're asleep.
If we need to move away quickly, I don't think I can do it while carrying someone on me.
I don't think we have to move quickly. We just have to keep our eyes open.
Half of everything else we've met so far has tried to kill us, so I'm kind of worried about these shadows.
I'll pull Merlin next to me so we're kind of like standing in a triangle almost facing outward, so we have a full range of vision.
By doing so, you can see that a lot of these shadows stop moving, but it's very difficult to have a full 360 view around you. But generally speaking, the creeping shadows here begin to slow, and when you move or look slightly closer, you can see they're not making as much ground while you're in this position, but they are around you in a lot of places, and they're pretty close.
We have to keep moving.
Right.
Just keep your eyes open.
I guess
We don't even
it's.
know the way.
I would just be like frozen, staring back towards these things, like a person staring at like a wild mountain lion or something, and you don't want to move too quick to startle it. And I think the other two party members could probably pick up real quickly that Will doesn't want to move.
If we stay put, won't they just...
I don't even know what direction we should be moving.
Can I just look around and try and see if there's any path at all that might have a wider berth between shadows?
Give me a perception check and a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Do it fast enough. Combo
17
checks.
perception,
Continue to make up my own bullshit for D&D,
18
in case you
dex
were ever
save.
wondering. You do a blitz quick scan of the area around you. As you do so, many of these hand-like, branch-like shadows rush suddenly, a lot quicker than they had done before. As you do so, you catch the slight glint of a ball bearing directly behind, if this is the triangle of you, directly behind where Will is facing out from.
Okay. I'm not gonna turn, but I'll just point in that direction.
I will pick up Fix and slowly start backing away from these things.
Okay. Everyone give me dexterity checks. You can give me an acrobatics check if you'd like.
Just a check, not a saving throw.
Yep, not a saving throw. This is just to see how dexterous you are on your feet.
Oh, Phil.
20.
You begin to
That's a
move
7.
as a group very slowly. It's awkward. Maybe every now and then Will suggests you take a step, stop, pause, move. Before one of these shadows moves at a blinding speed. Merlin, while you blink, roll me a dexterity saving throw. Not good. You stop moving. The others are moving behind you, but your leg feels like stone. As you glance down, while still trying to keep your vision as wide a scope as possible in front of you, you recognize that your foot is lost in shadow. The shadow is twisting and turning up your calf. It's pulling at your leg, but it also feels as though your leg is turned entirely to stone. So much stronger than you could imagine. Absolutely unable to move your leg. It is like it is glued to the ground right now.
I think Merlin, gives Fire and Will the heads up. I can't move.
Can we... Oh, I wouldn't look. I would just grab Merlin and try to pull, because I don't want to turn my head and look.
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
Six.
And a constitution saving throw.
8.
Don't blink. You pull at Merlin. He doesn't move. Most of his body moves, but you get the sense that he is. It's almost as if someone is grabbing a hold of him at the other side of him. In trying to do all of this and moving, you take your eyes off of something. Maybe you blink for a moment. Your foot on the same side as Merlin's feels like it's stone. Same thing. Quick glance down, you see that there are shadows twisting around your ankles, moving up your legs. You're glued to the spot.
They have us.
Is that fire as well, or Merlin you're talking to?
Both of them.
They have our legs.
I'm preoccupied.
Keep. Fix.
You gotta keep moving.
I'm gonna keep stepping back so I don't get two more of us caught. Merlin, can you do what she does and teleport?
I can't teleport.
If I grab Merlin and then Misty Step, is that a thing or no?
I don't think you can Misty Step with someone. Let's see.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I think
it's
it would
only
say.
cast on yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to mention door for that. Fix, if you want to wake up any time now, this would be ideal. I'm gonna shake Fix and see if there's any response again.
I can assure you there'll be no response from Fix for a moment.
Can I attempt to levitate, though? Fire? Is that possible?
Is your plan to cast Levitate on fire?
So that she can at least get out, yes.
Levitate. Let's see. One creature or object of your choice that you can see within range rises vertically up to 20 feet and remains there suspended for the duration, which is 10 minutes of concentration. You may cast the spell. Do you cast the spell, or are you Misty Stepping? Tell me which happens first here.
Would Fire know that I couldn't grab Merlin and Misty Step?
I would assume so, yeah.
Okay, then I wouldn't do it, because I would want to stay by Merlin.
All right.
Would.
Let's see here. Merlin, you cast Levitate.
Yeah, I think I will.
What does it look like? What do you do?
I think, without saying a word, Merlin just shuts his eyes. She probably feels the sense of lightness, and then she just begins to float.
You do begin to float, but your leg remains stuck to the ground. Give me an intelligence check, Fire.
5.
One leg remains on the ground, the rest of your body, floating awkwardly upwards at an angle, begins to levitate.
Then Merlin opens his eyes and hopes that he finds a fire in the, no, she's,
The leg.
well, okay, that didn't go according to plan.
Brad, are these shadows still following me, or did they like kind of stop when they caught the other two?
Assuming that you're all keeping your eyes on these shadows, and not blinking and not making any crazy changes to what you're doing. They're not really moving forward, no.
Okay. And since we were like backing up the way that we came, were there shadows in that direction as well, or are they coming from deeper in the mist?
Give me a perception check.
Trying to figure out if we are surrounded or not.
And a constitution
10.
saving throw.
21 on the con save.
You look around you as best you can in the time that you have with without really blinking or moving your eyesight too far. Behind you, directly behind you, is where you came from. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. One thing, you don't recall there being any odd shadows or moving shadows on the way in, but you are aware that directly ahead of you there are no moving shadows. Beyond a certain point, pretty much the area in which you started this movement backwards, the shadows appear to be localized to that area alone. Ahead of you and ahead of where this began, the shadows aren't moving.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting the directionals a little confused here. Like backing up the way that we came.
The ball bearing is
the
behind you, directly behind you.
Right.
You can't look behind you without these shadows rushing you. So,
okay.
What you do see is that ahead of you, these shadows
seem to be originating in front of me.
They're originating around you. If you had to guess, they're localized to the area that you were in originally.
All right. Well, I'm going to reason then that if they were behind me, they'd have grabbed me by now. So, sorry, Fix. And I'm gonna put Fix on the ground and then run, or not run. I'm going to walk quickly towards the other two, and just on the ground right between them, projected outward, I'm gonna cast Thunderwave.
Okay. You're aiming at them too?
No, I'm aiming at the shadows, kind of like if Merlin is here and Fire is here, I'm like walking up sort of between them and just smacking the ground directly between them, aimed outward.
All right. Let me check on Thunderwave.
We're about to get electrocuted.
I think
it's
he's
like
making sure that it
it's a
doesn't
sonic
hit you,
boom
right?
with a. Yeah, no, I'm making sure not to hit them if at all possible. I'm trying to catch the shadows that are moving towards them and shove them back.
All right.
Thunderwave is essentially a.
cube.
Yes. And for those that are not familiar, Thunderwave is essentially a sonic boom with a knockback. So I'm trying to shove this thing off of them.
Correct. Roll me a 2d8. There you go.
Comes out to 6.
There is a very loud boom that accompanies this spell. That
Yes.
echoes out from the area which you are in. Will, you cast this spell in an attempt to push these shadows back. They rush straight through it and straight up your legs. And
Well,
you
that's not
also see
helpful.
them rush over Fix on the ground, pinning Fix to the ground, pinning you to the spot that you're in. And after this sonic boom is finished and your ears stop ringing, you each hear this noise. And that is where we're going to go to a break. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll be back after a short break, no longer than 5 to 10 minutes. And reminder that we have a giveaway. I will show you the book upon the return of our break. If you want to go to the Table Story Discord, you are still able to enter the giveaway for... In fact, there it is. I know where it is.
We're gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all dead. We're all gonna
Copy
die.
of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. All you have to do is go to our Discord channel, go to the Mistlight channel, and the links are under the stream right now. If you're on the VOD, they're under the video player, and if you're listening, go to tablestory.tv/Discord and simply type !enter, and you will be entered into the competition. If you entered already previously, you're already in, so you don't need to do it again. Your name is already in there, and we will pull another name out of the hat. So if you've already entered once, you're good. Your name's already in the thing. But anybody that didn't enter last time, you get a chance to enter for this next one. Table Stories Discord, Mistlight, !enter, and you might be able to win one of these. And winners announced next week. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back after this short break. Peace. Fix. Would you like to wake up?
Yes.
A voice speaks out to you as you begin to swim up to the surface of this astral state that you're in, and says,
Would you like to wake up?
Yes.
But you can remain.
What?
You have taken a piece of me.
Who are you?
If you remain, we can be whole and one.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Are you inside the mist?
You are a thief.
No, I'm not a thief.
You have taken from me.
It didn't take. It wasn't taken.
Can you explain why you can do the things you can do?
It was forced upon me.
Come to me.
How?
Find me.
I want to wake up. I want to wake up. I want to wake up.
You wake up,
Please.
shouting, please. However, suddenly, you feel against your face the cold earth, grass. But it's as if somebody is holding you there. Not just that, but as if you're trapped underneath maybe a blanket or somebody is laying on you in a way that is holding you in position and also pushing you against the ground. Your entire body stuck, paralyzed, and while you can feel yourself, you know that you aren't paralyzed in any magical way or anything. You are being completely restrained. On the ground, Fix is covered in the shadows. Each of you have at least one leg bound. Will, you have 2 legs covered up to the knee in these shadows.
So this might be a dumb question, but I don't get a chance to dex save to dodge them or anything?
You do not. You
Okay.
do hear Fix cry out, please, from underneath the shadows. Clear as day, as if she's not underneath anything.
You mean like the shadows aren't impeding the sound?
Nope.
Okay.
They are impeding your vision, though, Fix.
Fix, we have a problem.
Well, please, no. Am I awake?
You're awake, but we're stuck.
What is happening?
Shadows binding us.
She means shadows.
The trees, the shadows, they're alive. Wrapping around us.
Maybe it's better if we say you're asleep.
What?
I know I'm like half in the air weird. Can I try with my closer to my leg hand to grab my dagger and try to swipe at the shadow and just see if there's if I can make a connection with anything?
You can move around and stuff. When you're levitating by this spell, if you weren't bound already by the ground, you would be able to push yourself off of things and use like the inertia of that, almost like being in space, kinda.
Yeah.
So you
like
can
a pull
move
down.
around fine, but you're floating upwards. You're just a balloon of a person, just trying to. Yeah.
Can I stab the ground like under her foot and pry up to see if I can break it loose so she can float away from this crap?
You can try. You doing it with the sword?
I'm hesitating to poke a weapon into this and potentially lose it. I mean, it's not like we're gonna have much of a choice here in a second. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll actually use I'll use Booming Blade as well. So if it that's aha! Yes! I'll use Booming Blade to do it, so that if it moves to follow her, it takes damage, and I'll try to stab it loose.
Alright, give me an attack roll.
If I can find it. 17.
17. You hit the ground. You dig at the ground perfectly, carving through the earth underneath where her foot is, or should be if it weren't just a mass of shadow and darkness. The Booming Blade spell, as you understand it, does not affect this shadow. You see that it doesn't touch this thing, and neither does your sword. Your sword doesn't pass through it as if it were resistant, it simply passes through it as if it were not there. However, you do successfully carve out a piece of earth underneath where her foot is, and yet the shadow remains entirely in place, and you do not move.
Okay.
You need to give me a Constitution saving throw, though, Will.
On save, an 8.
8 is a fail. The shadows move up your body suddenly before you get your eyes back on them, rushing up your halfway up your torso now in strange twisting and curling things. They're also slowly moving up your body now while you're stood here. Everybody can see these shadows as they are beginning to engulf Will. They're still steadily creeping up your legs as well. The other two. And
Merlin?
Fix is gone. She's just a lump of shadow right now.
And if I swipe at it with my dagger, I don't like.
Same thing. It's just passing
just
through
weird.
it.
Okay. I'll just Merlin? I can do nothing here. Can you do something? Magic? I don't know.
I possess fire magic. I don't think any of that will. I mean, I can try.
I think
can
it's
try
worth a
something.
shot.
Don't. Blink.
I'm going to attempt at using acid splash
Okay.
on the shadows,
All right.
holding me and fire.
You're going to fire some acid. Let's see here. Let me double check my acid splash. A 4 on the creature's dexterity saving throw. The acid that comes out from your hands, Merlin, would you like to enhance it in such a way that it affects this creature?
Oh, why do I feel like that's a trick question coming from you, Brad? Oh, God. Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, yes.
All right, give me a wisdom saving throw, a constitution saving throw, and then roll a d100. So wisdom save, con save, d100. In that order, please. Okay. How do you kill all of the shadow stuff with acid right now? This is not really even acid splash anymore. This is acid whatever you want.
Well, when Merlin uses acid splash, he kind of spits. So he's just spitting and spitting on the shadow tentacly things that are gripping, fire and Merlin.
How does the creature react, and how do you kill it, essentially?
I guess it reacts in a very violent way that it's just, like, not just ew, it's spit. It's in pain. No noise comes from these shadows, but they eventually dissipate
That's exactly what happens.
into nothingness.
All of the shadows here that are covering each of you begin to recoil, spitting up and burning and dissipating away, almost burning underneath this acid, before eventually they're entirely gone. Merlin, you stand there after spitting up this acid, after dissipating these shadows. Fix rolling over, maybe taking a deep breath. Will suddenly stumbling forward. You have one bloodied nostril, and the other begins to bleed as well. Roll me a d4. You take 4 psychic damage. This is to your HP, not to your sanity. This is damage. The enhancing of this spell drew energy from you that you're not prepared to use. But in doing so, you were very easily able to conjure up more acid from this spell than you've ever been able to do before, and you were able to localize it in such a way that it hit only your target and not the group. Usually you just launch a bunch of acid kind of at designated specific pinpoint areas. This was wave of acid and a bunch of spits, but you knew that you wouldn't need to worry about hitting the others with it. But it came at a strange price here. In order to do it, you've hurt yourself mentally. You've taken a good deal of damage. However Merlin interprets psychic damage. And it's very similar to the feedback that you got previously. For the rest of you, looking at Merlin, he successfully, completely destroys all of these shadows, but he looks haggard and drained. His eyes are fully bloodshot. Both of his nostrils bleeding, running into the top of his beard, the moustache area, staining the grey.
I'll run up and use my sleeve to start wiping the blood away, Merlin.
I'll run
You
to
did it.
Vix instead at that point then.
I think he just
You okay?
smiles at...
Sorry, go ahead.
I think he just smiles up at Fire in relief. And then he turns to Will and Vix.
Vix, you okay?
I was grabbing at my arm again. I don't know what. I know exactly what I saw, but I don't know what I saw. I don't know if I could do that again. It's all connected. All of it, the mists, it's all connected. It knows, it feels, it's all talking to each other.
It's probably best we don't do this again. It's close.
It knows we are here.
Right, and it sent a welcoming committee for us.
What happened? What was that?
Trees came alive, their shadows smothering us. Didn't actually hurt at all, from what I can tell. Although Merlin's spell seems to have strained him significantly, but it was just trying to immobilize us. And I shudder to think what would have happened if it had succeeded.
I'd rather not think about that.
It's not something we have to worry about now.
What now? What now?
I got the answer to the question. We're going the
And that
right
is?
way. It's there. There's a village with a graveyard, and there were people in robes.
Out here?
I don't know if it was a vision of now or the past or the future. I don't know what I saw. But I know that there is a village and there is a graveyard and there is something. There was a mountain and a skull, and I don't want to be in here anymore.
None of us do. I'll offer Vix a hand. Can you stand?
Yeah. Take your hand and stand up shakily.
Sorry for letting those things catch you. I tried to rescue the other two and it didn't work very well.
And I trust you did what you thought was right.
Wasn't about to run back with just two of us and leave the other two for dead. This vision you saw. People, a village here in the mist.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know anything about how all this all works, but if I had to venture a guess here, probably a vision of the past. Look at the road that we followed leading in. Crumbled away. Hundreds of years of disuse. If there were actually people up here actively living, then they would maintain the roads. They'd maintain their living space. You must have been seeing whatever lied out here before. Or at least
Was the clothing and everything old looking, or did it look like it could be
Give me a history check.
modern? Eight.
Maybe you're not much of a fashionista in the Dark Realm, but you've never seen anyone wearing anything like it. It doesn't seem... I don't know exactly how well traveled you are, but it's not too difficult to travel the entire realm. And it isn't something that you've recognized anybody to be wearing. Even in the desert where people are wearing a little less. So you certainly do not recognize it.
It looked weird. I wouldn't be able to place it anywhere in the realm.
Alright. And it's the way we were heading?
Yeah.
Is that thing there, or is this just our destination, or do you know? I know whatever you saw was probably hazy.
Thing is to the east.
Okay. Gather around, all three of you. Come here. This is scratching the surface. It's only gonna get worse. We're less than 1 day's travel into the mist. This may very well be a one-way trip. So anyone who wants to go back, I wouldn't count it against you. There's no shame in it. And I can't ask anyone else to die out here. But I'm going into that mist. And if you come with me, if we die out here, we'll all die together. But if dying's not what you want to do, then this is your moment to turn around.
I'll join you.
I thought we already established that there's no leaving. Not anymore.
I figured.
Yeah, I think we're beyond that.
Vix, are you okay?
Every fiber of my being wants to run. But I've done enough running. Come too far. He'll stay with you. But please keep an eye on me.
I think I understand what you're saying. And I will. Just hope it doesn't come to that. I don't know about you, but once those things are gone, I don't really feel injured or tired at all. I can just keep moving. Is everyone else okay to keep going?
Marlon.
I'm okay to keep going, but it was weird when I casted my spell on the shadows. It's hard to explain, but we should try and avoid that as much as we can.
Believe me, we're all on the same page. I would have happily gone around these things. They showed up. Fixed the second you went to talk to that thing or commune with it or whatever was going on in your head. These things knew. They took advantage of that moment the second you passed out. So they were connected to this other thing some way. It was no way that could have been there was no way that could have been a coincidence.
As soon as I tried, I felt like I was part of whatever consciousness is here inside the mists. I felt connected to it. And I wonder if they can see us through that. But we know where we're going, so...
Agreed. Let's get moving, and let's avoid contact with that thing at all costs unless we have no other choice.
I'll hold Merlin's hand. And continue on.
Is Fix directing the party where to go?
Yeah.
You know the direction you need to head. It's just a matter now of putting in the hours. In general, what is the pace and what is the approach to the travel here north through the mist for the next, let's say, 12 hours? Or at least the approach for the next 12 hours. Would it be quickly, slowly, cautiously marching, running? How, in general, do you think you guys would approach it? There's no real role coming up for it. I just need to know what the plan is and where you're at for that approach.
Do we know that it's going to take 12 hours to get to our destination?
No. It might not, but I'm just curious as to
I just
how
wasn't sure
that time would go. You don't know anything. Fix knows the direction to go.
Okay, so just the direction.
Yes, you will not be lost.
Okay. Well, since moving slowly doesn't really seem to benefit us very much, because things in here are probably just going to jump us anyway, I'd be in favor of just moving quickly.
Quickly but cautiously?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly but cautiously.
Yes.
Okay.
Brad, we would like to have our cake and eat it too. We'd like to sprint. We'd like to stealth and sprint.
I have GM'd for a party before. You begin your travel. Each of you moving through what is essentially a forest, but not the comfortable forest that you are from. Merlin, fire, not even a casual forest that you might have encountered on your travels across the Dark Realm. This is a strange thing. Without Fix's guidance, you can see how easy it is to become lost. The trees are both tall and short. They're thin and distanced from one another, yet they're overwhelming as you're moving through them. There is no path. The ground underfoot every now and then gives way to very, very soft soil, almost like a quicksand, as your foot falls into this thin soil. The foliage all seems to be dangerous. Everything is a thorn or a spike. Merlin, aside from the one thing you recognize to be mist berries, there really doesn't even seem to be things that would be edible here. There are no real plants to speak of outside of vines and this thick purple and blackened grass around you. The bark on the trees is extremely thick. As you hit it, it doesn't chip easily. You do get the sense, if you were to hit one of these trees, that you would eventually fell the tree with an axe if you needed to. But it's just different. And you move quickly but slowly but cautiously but unbelievably quickly through this forest for hours. And I think for you guys, time becomes very wobbly. It's very difficult to tell how many hours have passed outside of how much your legs begin to ache. Eventually your legs ache a lot. You get the sense that you have been walking through this relatively uncomfortable terrain for a long time. Usually it would be the time to rest. Outside of the mist, you would consider putting a tent up, maybe making a fire and eating some food, maybe just sitting down for an hour and taking a short rest here. But I feel I should come to you to ask whether you are going to stop and rest at all, or whether you'd rather keep pushing forward.
You mean like in terms of exhaustion, or just being tired in general, kind of a rest, or?
You would be at risk of exhaustion to continue without doing a rest. You've probably been traveling through the entire day. Just based on your own level of fatigue.
Okay.
And I don't get any sense of like location, distance.
You know you're on the right track.
Mm.
You know it's ahead of you. You're certainly much closer, but I don't think you know where it is. You can ask. You can find out.
I'll pass.
Please no. Just based on our own feeling of like our own fatigue levels, do we need to take like a full rest here, set up camp, or just take a breather, a short rest before we continue?
I think a breather. I think whatever is affecting Merlin right now, he would probably tug on Fire's cloak, just look up at her with his bloodshot eyes and his bloodied up nose.
Nap time?
I think even just to sit down for a little.
What do we think?
Agreed.
Everyone? Yeah?
No, it's a good idea. We shouldn't strain ourselves by overexerting. We don't know how much further to go, do we?
No.
Okay, yeah. Let's take a minute then. No reason exhausting ourselves. We don't know how far it's gonna be, so let's pace ourselves properly.
I'll take a minute and clean any leftover blood out of Merlin's mustache.
Yes. You are doing a short rest, which means you can roll a hit die to recover HP. If you would like. 2, you can roll another one if you want. You can roll as many as you want, but remember that you're consuming them to mark them off on your sheet.
What's happening?
I got
What
to
is
either way.
It's a
Another
curse.
two?
It's a curse.
All
It's
right.
a curse.
What is going on?
That's 4 HP back. You can do another one.
No, that's it.
All right. You've recovered 4 HP on 2 natural 1 hit dice rolls. The mist doesn't like you very much.
Nope.
Party. It's almost as if I contacted Roll20 and told them to
You know what? I wouldn't doubt it.
up the percentage chance of
I wouldn't
ones
put it
for
past
the
you, Brad.
party whenever they go. That would be awesome, but I didn't.
I'm sure.
Or did I? So, you rest for an hour. Again, frighteningly quiet. No sounds. No creatures. Not even bugs. It makes the experience of being outside and in this forest extremely unnerving. But the whispers continue, endlessly muttering in the background, and whenever you try to concentrate on it, it's very difficult to understand what they're saying. There are no creatures, nothing comes rushing out at you, no monsters, no shadows, as you rest for an hour and then, I presume, continue on your journey.
Yeah. Do the whispers have any coherence or familiarity now? I've kind of...
Whispers to you, as a party, sound exactly as they sound in your ears right now.
Okay.
So if you can understand them, you can understand them.
Can pretend.
Concentrate if you want.
I need
You
that
can
audio file
ask.
sent over.
You can ask.
Stop dangling that carrot.
You can always ask. If you want the answer is always available to you. You need only reach out and take it. And the 4 of you continue onwards, yes?
Yeah.
As long as I'm not, like... I'm not sure if you gave, like, really a clear response to it, but for the purpose of avoiding exhausting ourselves, does it feel like a short rest is sufficient?
You can do about another 8 hours
Okay, yeah, then we'll get moving.
before you start rolling for exhaustion. You don't immediately gain exhaustion. And then you, essentially the DC just starts going up by 1 per hour. So, you continue to walk, tired but not exhausted, confused, headachy in some cases, but not really broken in any way, just tired and cautious, quick and cautious.
Stealth sprinting.
Stealth sprinting. I guess everyone can roll me a perception check. Merlin, what is going on?
No idea.
crap.
My rolls are
What
so
is-
bad.
What is
Just go
happening?
ahead and name this episode The March of the Nat Ones. It's like 7 in one episode.
It really is pretty bad. Merlin with a natural 1 again, Fix with an 11, Fire with a 6, Will with a 10, and Vita with a 6. Fix, roll me again. You have advantage.
Oh. Please.
I think you've already passed,
20.
but you can have the advantage to see just how easy it is to make out that you begin to come up upon the area where you recognize to one side of you the mountain. You also find your way back onto the road. The road reappears in patches and places, broken, but certainly the same road, same masonry, same thing. Again, little more than carved stone underfoot, but you recognize the road for what it is. Beside the road, on the west hand side of it, you see a great hillside and the beginnings of the mountain that you recognize to have had this enormous skull on the top of it, suggesting that just north of you, could be 5 minutes, it could be 5 hours, it could be 15 hours, but just north of you on this road is the area where the village and the graveyard is, and I presume you begin to follow the road again as a group.
Yep.
Will, roll me roll me 2d6.
Oh, what did I do now? 7.
And
The number of Tyrannosauruses that come out of the mist.
nope, nothing comes out of the mist. But soon, to one side of you, you recognize an enormous mountain. And on the top of it, each of you sees a skull. However,
Oh.
two things are distinct about this. One, it's enormous. Being able to see the skull is one thing. You're able to very clearly see this mountain. You're very, your eyesight extends, allowing you to see not just the skull, but the mountainside itself. Pouring down from the mountain in various places is water, steam, and mist. The mountain is spikes of black sticking up through the mist itself, and on top of it is a skull. To you, Will, the skull appears to be human. To Merlin, it appears to be gnomish. To Fix, it appears to be the skull of a tiefling. And to Fire, it appears to be the skull of a elf. Not just that, but it's your skull. You know this. And you can see it. Moving around this mountain, the skull turns on the top of it throughout the hours as you pass along the road next to this mountain. Several more hours pass. Empty, lonely travel. The whispers beginning to build. And the fatigue beginning to build. I need everyone to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
I could have got on a ship and chased Arias out into the water. Here we go.
Big oofs. Will, you have passed the check. Merlin, you have passed the check. Fire, you have passed the check. But Fix, you need to roll me
no.
another d10.
Oh, goody.
An 8.
Always high on the d10s.
This is the second day. Beginning of the second day in the mist. And what is your sanity level?
90.
90.
Now 82, I assume?
82. You feel bad. The headache has advanced to a borderline migraine. Sounds, lights are you're feeling sensitive to. The sounds of the whispers in the mist to you are extremely loud. They feel invasive. You can't tell where these whispers begin and your own thoughts end at certain points. However, for the most part, you just feel a little jittery, anxious. There is no serious side effect other than the fact that you have this god-awful headache and that the effects of this mist and the whispers within it are pushing on you harder than they were at first. The rest of you feel the same pressure from this mist, but it doesn't affect you in any way that you can tell, like a headache or any sense of heightened anxiety. Last check. Do you want to rest? You're bordering on fatigue, where you will most likely have to make constitution checks during your next few hours of travel. You find yourselves pretty much at the center of the mountain. Directly above where you are is where the peak of the mountain would be were you to ascend it. The tallest peak, the center of the mass that would be the mountainsides next to you. Fix, roll me an investigation check. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt as well. 22. The village, when you sensed it or understood its location, was east of this mountain. If you would be pretty close to it now, based on what you're thinking of where it is, not on any sense other than your memory of understanding where it was briefly. It should be east of the center peak of the mountain as well, not far from where you are, but not far, and what that actually translates to in hours of travel in here, it can be two very different things. But you're close, however, you're all bordering on fatigue and exhaustion now. So it comes down to whether you want to run that risk to try and make it to the area where this town should be here, or whether you want to stop here where you are and rest. Again, for the past several hours, and you don't know exactly how many hours it's been, but you've been walking for a long time, at least through the day when you set off at midday. It has to be at least midnight, if not later, to gauge roughly how you feel on walking. But again, you don't know. Nobody has a watch. What would you guys like to do?
I would like to remind everyone that I can just meditate and I don't have to actually sleep, so I could Maybe if something ran, if a missed T-Rex ran up, I might be able to hear it. But I don't know how helpful that would be.
We should rest.
I think too. I agree.
How far up is it to the skull mountain thing above us?
Ridiculous. Proper serious mountain climbing. You'd probably want gear as well.
Okay.
It's a legit set of peaks that look awkward to climb, even for a veteran climber with equipment. It would be awkward. Lots of overhangs. You'd need extreme finger strength. There may very well be other ways to do it, but yeah, you can get a decent way up it by foot, but to actually get to the very top, it would be extremely difficult. And it's very, very high. There's an odd sense of perception, depth perception maybe, where as you're looking up at this thing, because it allows you to see the top. And there's not much you can see around you because of the thick mist and the darkness. But yeah, it's a big mountain, very big. And it's a mountain side as well. It's like it's not just like a singular mountain. It's a huge thing that expands outwards.
No, I get you. I just wanted to rule out, us camping out in the skull for the night, which it sounds like can't happen.
Yeah, no, it would be really difficult to do.
No, thank you.
I mean, Will doesn't want to. Fairlight kind of does. 'Cause it's funny. Yeah, I guess. You have no way of gauging how much further we have to go?
No, and I have a splitting headache.
Okay, let's rest.
Let's rest.
I guess we'll have to set up camp here then. It wouldn't be good for us to keep pushing through it.
We have no idea what we're going to face when we get there either.
True. Though whatever we do end up against, I mean, I'm no worse for the wear. I'm exhausted, don't get me wrong, but if we have to fight something, I'm ready. We need to try and make a secure campsite as much as we can. It's bad enough camping on the road outside.
I
Bandits,
figured we could
marauders.
just kind of go all loosey-goosey and just cross your fingers,
What?
It's sarcasm. I don't know if you... it's sarcasm.
I was hoping
I saw
so.
the sarcasm.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Merlin.
it's hard to tell with certain people. Anyway,
Would Vita be able to, like, would the psychic link let Vita wake me up from sleep if I were to send Vita to be a lookout while we slept?
Yeah, I imagine you could do that. Yeah.
and does Vita need to sleep? Another good question.
No.
Oh, well, there you go. Permanent free alarm.
Third question. Does Vita heal HP on a long rest
Yes.
if they don't sleep? Okay.
How's the terrain look here, Brad? Is there an area that we can use to fortify, not necessarily like proper fortify, but is there at least like a more enclosed area where we could disguise
find out.
ourselves or anything like that?
Let's find out how great the terrain is for you here. Really good. There is, to one side of the area where this road crumbles, a great expanse of those trees. Practically what you walked out and through, and remain somewhat on both sides, but on the other side you have this mountain side. The mountains don't just often rip up out of the ground like a cliff side. This is the type of mountain that is a oddly steady incline at first. On that side of the road, heading off of the road a little and using some of the more rocky terrain and the hangs that are about, you could easily put your back to what would feel like a wall a little bit, sit under an almost plateau or just a hill area, and give yourselves a pretty decent vantage point over the area that leads down towards the road and the forest. Anything coming down from the mountain would be would potentially get the jump on you, but that's going to happen either way. So you can put your back to the mountainside and have a very good vantage point of the forest and the road, north, east and south. West up towards the mountain, a bit of a mystery, unless you wanted to venture further up there, but it's you're looking at least probably about an hour's travel to get to the really rocky parts of the mountain.
Okay, is there anywhere nearby where we could kind of wedge in to where if someone were climbing up, they would have to go through a specific, like a choke point or a doorway or anything natural like that, even if it's 15 or 20 feet wide, or is the whole area just open enough that like you can just come up from wherever?
It's pretty open here,
Okay.
because it is the bottom side of a mountain and the western side of a forest. There really isn't any cave system or anything like that. You're in a pretty plain, relatively flat area, hilly. You can find plateaus, but not anything that's significant.
I guess this will have to do. It gives us a good viewpoint. It's not exactly a tenable position if we have to defend ourselves, but at least nothing can sneak up on us up here.
Yeah.
Fire can watch behind, Vita can watch in front.
It's as good a plan as any.
Okay. I guess Fire and Vita give me perception checks.
Come on.
As you rest, or attempt to rest. Will, do you sleep at any point?
I do sleep, although not before kind of walking up to fix, and Will's still kind of hesitant because the whole "don't touch me or I'll kill you" threat is like still lingering in his mind. But he'll walk up and say, "Come here. I might be able to help with your headache." I hope it's as effective this far in. I don't feel... It's hard to explain. The sun's like a battery. Kind of fuels all these things I can do. So I just hope it's as effective as in here as it is out there. And I'll use lay on hands to... I'll use all 9 points, because I think Fix caught the worst of it compared to the rest of us, right?
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
It works. However, Will,
Don't tell me I have to make my own sanity check now for using it.
you don't have to make a sanity check, but I do want you to roll me a d20.
Oh, okay.
$16. Okay.
Please don't be one of those rolls where I get penalized for rolling high.
Nope. You are successful. This ability of yours, which recharges in the sunlight, is able to reduce that headache feeling of yours. Fix it. It goes a very long way after having it for several hours like this, to suddenly have the intense feeling of this horrible migraine, even reduced a little, goes an enormously long way to making you feel a little more in control and a little more comfortable. But it isn't gone entirely. You can add 9 points of sanity back, and will when you sleep, you have that same dream of somebody that you have recognized before. You saw this person with an arm around you in the middle of the road at one point, a mercenary that was holding on to you in the middle of the street, laughing and joking with you. You see them again, and they are digging a grave in a graveyard. The stones of the graveyard twisted and ancient, crumbling and blank. This person digging a hole and muttering to themselves. When you awaken, Fix awakens at almost exactly the same time. Fire, you spot something. Vita begins to send you small messages, Fix, and in the distance, moving among the trees that you had come from, you see pale creatures, pale people almost. Small, thin people covered in moss and fungus that is growing straight out of their flesh. The thing that stands out to you the most is that even from this distance, they have green eyes that almost glow in the dark. You can see them from far away, sets of these green eyes. At first, 2 or 3 of them start sniffing around the area where you guys were, before 2 or 3 more appear. Then 4 or 5 of them. For a while, they sniff around these trees, and then they move into the forest, going the way that you came, and move away from you. Vita calms down after a few minutes, and these pale ones pass by in the night, completely missing you. No idea you were there. By the time morning rolls round, and I should really air quotes morning rolls round, by the time your rest ends, you will have had a long rest. You can replenish your HP, you get your spells back, and Merlin, you get half of your hit die back, rounded up. Your sanity points are have to remain the same, and Will, your lay on hands does not replenish.
Oh, it doesn't.
It does not. Everything else does. So let me work out. I'm trying to keep an eye on the time myself, the actual time. You guys wake up. Those of you that were already awake will have noticed only one single thing that happened in the evening, and that was the coming and going of the pale ones. What do you do?
It would appear you were right about the people living out here in the mist. Are those the same ones you saw?
Not even slightly.
No?
Those weren't... Would you call those people? Creatures.
Look where we are. I don't expect anything to look normal.
No, but the people in the village looked like people. They looked like you or I.
Gotcha. You don't suppose you were seeing a vision of the past, and that's what's become of them?
Did the skull in the vision look like a tiefling skull, or did it look like a human skull?
In the vision, it looked like a human skull. It also looked very, very real. I would say the thing above you appears almost as an illusion to you, with it moving around without creating any sound or tearing at the rocks underneath it, following you like as if you walk past a very well-made painting and the eyes follow you across the room. The vision that you had was of an old, rotten, broken, yellowed skull, that of a human, or something that doesn't have horns at least.
That skull up there. What do you see?
Just a skull? It looks... I mean, it's
your skull, right? You know it.
I guess. Something about it feels that way, but... I mean, I can't see my own skull. I don't... It does give me that it gives me that uneasy feeling like it is mine.
That's how a lot of this stuff seems to work. I just seem to know. But I don't know. But that skull up there, to me, looks like mine. But in my vision, it looked old and crumbling and yellow and human. And I don't know what that means. But I don't like it.
Me either. I don't like anything about this. Either there's some illusory mind-warping magic at work here to make it look different to each of us. Or different from the way you saw it originally, or... I mean, that must be it. I had thought perhaps with the road crumbling and this place in a general state of disrepair, maybe you'd seen a vision of the past, and these pale things that just walked by was perhaps what remains of... Maybe that's what happens to people who stayed in the mist for too long. They turn into that. But seeing the skull... I don't know if it's a passage of time. It might just be illusions and mind-warping. It could be both. There's nothing saying it couldn't be both. It could have been hundreds of years, and there's some sort of illusions at play. We're really not going to be able to figure it out until we just get to our destination and investigate, I don't think.
I make a sketch of what I saw in my vision versus what I'm looking at now in my little notebook. What else is there to do but carry on? I don't think
My
before
thoughts.
now.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. We can take notes, we can make observations, but we can't solve a puzzle when we don't have all the pieces. And we are certainly missing some pieces here.
Let's go. Are you feeling better, Merlin?
Well, definitely better than, well, I don't even know how time passes here. We've probably been here for a very long time. We don't know it.
I hope your headaches aren't getting any worse, because I don't think I can help again. Not until I get out of here and get some sun.
You helped with the voices inside my head, so thank you.
I just hope it's enough. I wish I could do more.
Do you wish you could do more?
Stop it.
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to be able to do?
but either like to be able to get my lay on hands power back in the mist, or alternately be able to use the, because it's split awkwardly into like half of my points can only heal sanity and the other half can only heal health. I would love to just be able to use them where needed, as needed, like learn how to like, you know, restore the balance there so I don't have like a yin and yang half to my lay on hands.
Okay. You want both of those things?
Why do I get the feeling I'm making a deal with the devil? Yes, I want both of those things, but also not going to give up my soul to do it if it comes to it.
My dear boy. Okay. Let's see. Roll me 2 wisdom saves.
Here is 1. And here is... I'll use my point of inspiration on this second roll.
Okay.
I've been sitting on it for like 3 episodes. I want, if this is going to be meaningful, I want it. A 16.
16 and an 8. The moment that Will utters the words, "I wish I could do more," he stumbles over the end of his words for a moment. His eyes roll up into the back of his head, and he crumples to the ground, the sounds of his armor creating a clattering noise. His sword spills across the ground away from where he is. On the ground, he convulses once, twice, and a single tear rolls down his cheek. And that is where we end today's session. Thank you so much for playing, players.
Oh my god.
And thank you so much for watching, watchers. We shall return next week at the same time.
I don't want it now.
Here's something fun for you, though. If you look at the map, and you're over here, well, let me do it on this screen for myself. In terms of where you guys are, I can reveal to you. Let me zoom in for the viewers, our dear viewers who creep and watch. I can reveal to you now that you are in fact.
Oh snap, Fog of War revealed.
It's so cool.
You are right on the edge of where this village is. On the edge of this mountain with the skull. And that was Mr. Brian Marshall Arts, by the way, who did all of this map for me, as well as the art for the skull here on this skull mountain. Very cool of him.
So good.
He just keeps sending me stuff every now and then. Some of it I commissioned him for some things, and then also he keeps going, here's this as well because I've done it. And he's awesome. Thank you, Brian. He is
Thank you, Brian.
Brian
Thanks, Brian.
dot Marshall dot arts on Instagram, I think. Since we're here, now's a good chance to shout him out exactly as it is. I do have the actual thing here. Apparently I don't. Okay, good.
Good job, Brad.
Apparently I don't.
Nice.
At Brian
Good try.
_ Marshall Arts. Okay. He has another one though. Basically he uses, so he created, the thing that's very cool about Brian's work is that he uses Incarnate to do it. And anybody that's used Incarnate before will understand just how impressive this map and some of the town maps that we've seen in the show so far are when using Incarnate to make these. Anyway, his link is and has always been in the description of the video on Twitch and on YouTube, so you can find the links to several people on the website as well. So if you just run over to one of like the YouTube videos and VODs, you'll find the links underneath to several of the people, including Patrick, who did the ones that are on the screen all the time and things and stuff. So I try and credit as many people as I can on the things, but sometimes I let people slip through the cracks, and so I give them a shout out here. Brian Marshall, thank you again. Very good lad and a very talented lad. So the other talented lads, the party here, take a breath. The Mist is a very strange and funky place, and you made it to the end of the session, but you're not out of the Mist yet. You're not even all the way into the Mist to get back out of the Mist yet, so you can unfortunately expect more of this next week, party. But until then, we'll do a quick round of shout outs to see who's doing what and where, so that these wonderful people can go and find you and give you subs and love and bits and tell you that you're great at what you do. Let's start with Disby, who was 13 minutes early to the call with a coffee in hand, drank it up, killed it. So many good Merlin moments today. Loved it so much. Don't know if it was because you were
so many natural ones.
I don't know if it's because you had a coffee early, apart from the natural ones, but I really enjoyed everything from Merlin today.
Thanks.
I always enjoy everything you always do, but just sometimes, man, Merlin just pops off, you know? I don't know how to explain it, really. Sometimes I'm like... Because I'm on the other screen sometimes just listening to you and just focusing on production things or setting up what's coming next, and I just get to listen and watch, and I get to enjoy that sometimes like a viewer. Anyway, Disby, what are you doing and where do you do it in the week?
Hi, I'm Disby. I played Merlin for you today. Oh my god, today was absolutely insane. What an episode. It just keeps getting better and better. I can't wait for next week. You can find me here on Twitch and Twitter at Disby Arias. I play video games. Yay. Thanks for coming out, everybody.
All right. What about Brian?
Hello, I play fire, and today was insane, and I loved it. As me and as fire, I hated a lot of it. And I'm going to go take a long rest until next Thursday, where I'll be back here playing fire.
Yeah, long rest. But
A week long.
do you get to recover sanity points in that time?
No, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
IRL.
The extremely long rest.
There are
The permanent rest.
secret rules in place, as Fairlight found out today. But you can go and question him on them at...
They can't question me on your hidden rules, Brad. I don't know what they are. Why don't send them over here? You can find me at Twitch.
They can question you, but
I just won't have the answer.
Yeah.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Fairlight_Excalibur. I'm talking in chat and stuff over there if you want to click on my name. You can also find me on Twitter at FairlightEX, and I'm currently just absolutely binging the New World closed beta, digging into the new MMO. I will spend approximately the next 11 hours hitting trees.
there you go. And then last but not least, Fix with some answers, kinda, but also probably more questions, which is always bittersweet.
Yeah.
Probably.
Last but definitely least, I love it. I know that next week it's going to be anxiety central, but I'm like, I love it so much. Yeah, hello. You can catch me at twitch.tv/Leah. Most days I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 at the moment. A lot of it. And also, Mistlight After Dusk tomorrow night at 10 p.m. BST over on my channel as well. With maybe some special guests. I guess you'll have to find out.
That is randomized every week.
Yeah, we roll a d4.
We just roll a d4. Yes, Mistlight After Dusk on Leah's channel tomorrow at 10 p.m. UK time, which is 5 Eastern, and I can't do any of the other translations. So if you want to get involved in theory crafting and questioning those things that can't be answered, then that's where to do it. As well as the Discord, you can head over to the Table Story Discord, where there is a Mistlight sub-channel, which is also where the giveaway is taking place. Happy music this time. I've already seen the memes. There is a copy and several copies left of the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. If you want to win this one in particular, you have to head over to the Discord channel and type in !enter, and it will enter you into the draw, which we will draw live next week during next week's show with some horrible music in the background to accompany it. And if you've already entered either last week or the week before or this week, you need only do it once. It does delete your message, so it will say enter, you'll be entered, and then it will delete the enter message. So don't worry too much if your enter disappears and you go, I'm not entered. You are, probably. And we'll draw it next week for you. That is it, I believe. You got anything else going on, PB?
Don't forget to
Check out Brad.
Don't do that.
Everybody do give
Go
subs for
give
Brad.
Brad all the love, your primes.
Please.
Yes.
Please go be his friend or he'll kill all of us.
Please be nice to him or he will
They
kill
were
us
mean
next
to me
week.
before this, by the
Guys.
way.
Just hold on. They all three of them have it backwards. Brad loves being abused. He's a masochist.
Whoa.
Go to his stream and just abuse him. Tell him how dumb he is. He thrives on it. He's too shy to say it, but he's just so into it.
It's kind of his thing, you know.
He will
Yeah.
consume your souls.
It's true, but they were mean to me before the show began today.
Well, I'm not capable of being mean.
said I
And
had no
everyone in
friends?
chat can vouch for me.
And I said, okay, fine. Everything just got harder in today's session.
No, that didn't happen.
And that's what
I'm very
happened.
nice to Brad all the time.
That's a real link in the chat. tablestory.tv/twat is my personalized table story link because PB was in charge of setting it up in the first place. All right. Well, make sure you go and follow all of these people. And thank you so much
Can I
for
ask-
watching. Go on.
One question, Brad.
Yeah.
One question. Because normally we leave the theory crafting to the Discord and to After Dusk and all that, but I want to bring up just one. I want to pick your brain on one here on the actual show, just for the fun of it. Okay. Screw your rules. That's the question. That's it. Because I could regenerate my lay on hands last time we were in the mist, and you changed it on me.
Did I?
I think so, because I recharged it last time. When I said I don't know if this is gonna work, that was just me like in character voicing Will's doubt in my head. I'm like, yeah, I'll just refill my points during this long rest.
I know.
That was my question.
Yeah, it's fine. All right. Thanks so much for
We're gonna
watching,
be so
everyone.
nice. Everyone be nice to Brad.
Bye.
No.
Bye.
Bye.